Black Boss, where we highlight and celebrate entrepreneurship in the Black community. I'm your host, Michelle Forbes, and today I have with me Miss Niema Golphin. How are
Hey,
you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no
Anytime someone reaches out and wants to highlight not just mental health, but mental wellness,
Yeah,
I'm game.
yeah. I hear that. Well, I appreciate you taking your time out to come have this conversation with me. Come hanging
Yes,
with me.
yes,
I
yes.
appreciate it. So for those who don't know Naima, what do you do?
So I juggle, right? So I'm a certified meditation therapist. I've also been in education for like 15 years. I'm a director over 2 schools, and I'm a mom, and I'm me.
Yeah.
A lot of juggling.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also awesome. So what I guess what led you to the point of sharing the message that you're now sharing? And I know you briefly explained all the hats that you juggle, but do you bring that side of yourself to all of those hats?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So to give people more of a like foundation. So my
Mhm,
company is called Minding My Soul Meditation.
mhm.
And I teach people how to live a mindfulness lifestyle.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes therapy. Sometimes it takes doing what I call soul work to even get my clients to meditate. So I do one-on-one clients. I do group sessions,
Mhm.
mostly corporate work though, because of my contact with schools.
Okay.
So I have a lot of businesses work with me. And then I do pop-up shops. And most of my pop-up shops honestly house female entrepreneurs, Black female entrepreneurs.
Wow. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no one knows like an entrepreneur what it is like to need to create healthy boundaries,
Yeah.
what it's like when you're just carrying a lot, especially as a mom, when you're trying to be a Black boss, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and you're just trying to still figure it out as you go, because a lot of us are first generation everything,
Mhm.
and we're just trying to figure it out. And I think one of the things that brought me to this point in my life where I said, I need to share this with other people, was that I was always raised to be like super ambitious, right? But I wasn't taught the tools to separate my success and ambition from who I am as a person, like who is my inner being, right? No one teaches
Absolutely.
us those tools.
you read. So we coming from the same place. Go ahead, please continue.
We coming from the same plate, cut from
Tell
the
our
same
story,
cloth,
girl.
probably.
Yes. Yeah.
So we aren't given those tools. And one of the things that led me to a deep depression was not being able to decipher who I was versus what I was doing.
Yeah.
And that brought my life to a complete halt.
Yeah.
Even though on the surface people would say, but you're so successful, you wrote books, you were a 4-time national champion. They might bring up some of my accolades. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of the work that I specifically do at colleges is help our young people understand you are not what you do. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing with my entrepreneurs. I'm like, you guys pride yourself on working 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
but then when are you spending time with you? When are you
Yeah.
spending time with your family? When are you cultivating the part of you that no one can take away?
Right.
Right.
You
Um,
speaking
so
the
to make
language. Yep.
so to make a long story short, it was meditation that brought me out of my depression.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give a Black face, a Black and brown face
Mhm.
to healing. And that meditation could be a tool and could be an avenue for our people that
Yeah.
may not necessarily be open to it because they only know that it's a white man's sport. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they might be like, well,
Absolutely.
that ain't for me, that's for them. Right.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I keep it, I am and this is why I love having my own business and not teaching meditation through like a company or through somebody else. Because
Yeah.
I
Right.
get to talk to my clients how I want to be talked to. I'll be
Right.
like, first of all, we need this shit more than they do
Yeah.
because we come from a background of trauma,
So much. Yep.
right? So do we
Every
not
day.
need more
Every
peace?
single day.
Every day. So it was really my desire to bring a healing tool to our community and reinforce the message that we can heal ourselves and our body is actually a healing tool. And that was something, you know, even being raised in a church, I wasn't taught. I was always taught you have to go outside yourself. You know, outside yourself, meaning God, you know, talk to your grandmother, you know, talk to your bestie. It was never really about learning how to go within.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love just being able to have a conversation in this time. Cause I feel like, and you may feel the same. I don't know exactly. I know you mentioned the depression, which is exactly where mine came from. And the cycle through, and then you come out and you realize that you're a freaking miracle.
Yes.
Yes. You realize how large of a miracle you really are.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that in 2021 we could sit here as two Black women, totally understand, you know, where the other is coming from and be having this level of conversation. Cause I feel like this is the future. I feel like this is what will save us.
This is the level of consciousness that that we need to get to in order to heal the collective.
Yes.
And we won't be able to get there without the collective. So, you know, the more that we can spread the word, the more that my business can expand, the more I can invest in other women who promote and who are, you know, in the mental health and wellness lane. You know what I mean? The better it is going to be for our community and for the children that we're raising.
I totally agree. Totally agree. So actually, since you mentioned children, and I actually was looking through your Instagram page and saw the moment between you and your son, where you were talking about the importance of meditation. Could you give any advice to any parents who are kind of looking to transition their kids into I guess a more grounded, mindful lifestyle before they even become adults and get caught up in the rest of it? Like they already know.
Yeah. So we teach our kids through our own lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be harder for a kid to pick up on consciousness because that's inevitably what we want to teach them, to be aware, to go within their bodies and to be aware of like, how am I feeling? How am I checking on myself, and to be able to manage their emotions. But if we're not doing the work, if we're not doing that, you know, we teach our kids subliminally through our actions, like what's important and what's not important. So I always try to encourage my families, like, you have to model for your child what wellness looks like, what consciousness looks like, what tapping in and going within looks like. If you're not ready to take on that lifestyle, it's not that you can't teach it if you don't do it, but it's going to be so much easier, right? It's almost like, you know, how when the Bible says like raise up a child in the way he should go, and when he depart, you know, like he'll always come back to it. So I feel like if you at least create a foundation that your child knows that you do it, you've modeled it, then you're teaching it, then regardless of what happens to them throughout their life, they're always going to remember that and be able to come back to it, right? But for any parent that wants to start, I would say, don't be like, kids are smarter than us. They're more intuitive. They're not as jaded. You know, they're still viewing themselves and the world through a childlike's eye, right? So that is the best time to introduce a child to your body as medicine. Right. And really being able to use language that they already know, right? Because our kids have had ear infections, our kids have had shots, our kids, you know, we've had to give them Tylenol. So they already kind of know like, oh, medicine makes me feel better. Right. And then you say, well, no, you are medicine. Let me teach you about the power of your breath. You know, and just the simpleness of saying to a child, I want you to sit and just think about your breathing. You know, it's transitioning their mind from being unconscious to conscious. So it could be something just as simple as that. Like I started with my son that way. So we started doing meditation when he was 3. 2 was too young. He was like, you know. And even now, like he can only sit for a really short period of time, but it's good because as he gets older, we'll increase it. And he'll, it's funny because we started with just like thinking about our breath. And then I would just have him sit and count without even thinking about his breath. So, you know, London, just think about how your body is feeling and then count. right? Eventually, what I do with school age kids, I teach them the pulse count. So that's a way for them to have something tangible. They're like, okay, I'm going to concentrate on this. I'm going to feel, how my pulse is feeling. And then they don't even know, like, oh, I'm connecting with my body.
Right.
So there's like little ways to teach children. And I would just encourage families start, if they can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know you wrote a children's book as well.
Yes.
What was was that part of it? What was the goal of the children's book?
So Gray's Treasure Box.
Yes.
I wanted to, so that actually ended up being like a bedtime story I told my son off the top of my head.
Okay, that's awesome.
And it was a good story. I'm like, okay. And of course, like everything that I do involves helping everyone to see like that they have gifts inside of them. Like we're all here for a purpose, right? And so the message wouldn't be the same for my son, right? And I just thought it was a beautiful message to just be able to share with more children. But it is about a story of a boy who wants to go find treasure, and he can't find it, and he doesn't feel like it's at home. So he goes on like this treasure hunt, like across the world, and he travels to 5 different countries. And make a long story short, at the end, he doesn't find what he's looking for. And when he returned home, he shows his mom everything he collected and got. And he's like, Mom, I don't understand. And the moral of the story is the mom shares with him, like, everything that you're searching for is inside yourself. So it's goes with part of that message. The earlier we're sharing these stories and these messages with our kids, the more open they will be as they get older to tapping in. I mean, I just did a speech with some Lincoln students last week. And when I say they were like, no one's ever asked me, like, how are you going to be happy? Yeah. It's not even a topic of conversation, right? Our kids are experiencing trauma and no one's giving them the tools to handle the trauma. We're just trying to like push them through like machines, just like we were pushed.
Keep going.
And keep going and keep going. And we try to force them to focus on the outside world, the material life, until then they get to a point of maturity and they're like, they start figuring out like, okay, this is not what it's about.
Which some people never figure out.
Which some people never get there. Some people never get there.
I was going to say, that's something, that's something as well, it's not, which I feel like makes it all the more special. Like, it's crazy. It's like just the odds of life. And some people never awaken to this fact. And it's just such gratitude. It's like the fact that I did. Thank you, God.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So I love the message of kind of breadcrumbing children in a way.
Yes.
Yes, because it's very difficult, it's very difficult to explain consciousness to somebody in a way that makes total sense. Like I heard somebody one time say, you don't get wet from the word water. And that made so much sense to me because I'm like, that's exactly what it is. I could scream conscious at you 50,000 times, but I cannot bring you into. Yes. I can't. So the breadcrumb of children, I think is genius because I feel like it offers a better chance that when you do get older, you just start, I call it glitches in the matrix. Like, you just start noticing something is not what you've said it was. Like, right So I think that's awesome. What about the other book you wrote, You versus You?
Girl, my favorite now. Okay. So You versus You was my creative way of being like, okay, how am I going to bring more Black women into this experience with me? Right? Yeah. And what's the number one thing we relate to? Storytelling, right? Yeah. We relate to people's stories and things that they've been through. And so, because my idea was to write like a how-to meditate book, and I say, ain't nobody gonna buy that shit. Like they're just not. So I'm like, you need to write a book explaining to people, like educating people on how mindfulness changed your life, how the meditation changed your life, right? And do it in a way where it's relatable. And so
Yeah.
I said, okay, here I go. And, I prayed about it. I wrote the book through a series of like my own meditation practice. Like that's when like the universe speaks to me.
Yeah.
And, I probably wrote that book in 3 months. And a lot of the content in the book is me being completely raw about my paradigm shifts, my transformations in real life situations. So to give you an example, like I talk about my baby father in the book, and I know so many people can relate to it. And I was one of those baby moms that was just like always judging my baby dad for not being there, right? For just being a dickhead or whatever, right? And then in order to get to a process of like healing, I think the part that we miss is the accountability. You chose them.
I said this conversation yesterday. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead. Say
you
it for
chose them. You slept with them. You saw the signs. And now that he's abandoning you, oh, woe is me. How could he ever possibly do that to us? You know what I mean? So I definitely went through a period of like regret, acceptance, and then being like, okay, it's time to take accountability, heal, and move on.
Yeah.
So like just that one situation right there, I think I opened the book with that. And I have had so many
very relatable.
Very relatable, right?
Very relatable.
I've had so many women in my DMs like, Niema, you just kicked my ass on the first chat. Like,
I mean, it's not an easy message to hear, especially receive. It's like it takes some honesty. You got to be tired, like
yes,
you just got to be like, look, something got changed. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So throughout the book, it's really 6 mindful tips, right? How to live a mindful lifestyle. So I just use real life situations to really help women understand how I use the mindfulness to just transform, my own life, so that I can experience true happiness. And so I wrote it with this idea of having an experience. Like I wanted the book to be an experience. And so it opens up with like the content of the chapter. And then at the end, there's some soul work. So there's like some deep questions at the end of each one that kind of walks you through it.
I was gonna say, I heard you say soul work a couple of times. What is soul work?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, how do you define it?
Soul work is going beneath the surface.
Okay,
it's deep reflection.
Yeah,
right. And what I try to do is like guide my reader through it in a supportive way. Where they feel challenged, but they feel like, damn, she sees me. She gets this. Yeah. Right. And then we end the soul work with a meditation that supports the content. Right. So the first chapter is that chapter on acceptance. And so there's a guided meditation, a video guided meditation by me that guides you through an acceptance meditation. So you talk about like the things that you've had a really hard time accepting in your life. And then I take you through a guided meditation, and every chapter is like that. So you get 6 different kinds of meditations. It's super dope.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So with the work that you do, it could be hard to tell because, well, with the question, with the work that you do, what is the most fulfilling part of it?
I'm doing something that comes natural to me, right? When I first started meditating, I can also sing. So it's like, I remember I was 7 when I first realized I could sing. I was like, huh. It was just like, oh my God, like that's one of my gifts. And so when I came into meditation, I felt at home. So I kind of knew it was meant for me to teach it because of how it just came into my life, but I get to do something I love. And I think the other fulfilling thing is how people react to it when they're in my workshops. And even with that, there's a fine line because I try not to because, even with a business, like when you try to make your passion your business, you could get into like, start being like, do people like it? Do they not like it? Do they, so I try to even, have a neutral feeling, when people have high level, intense responses to what I'm doing, and also don't attach their fulfillment to like my ego, right? I'm like, this is
Girl,
definitely the
you speaking
spirit's
the
work.
language. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
Like,
I'm like, this the spirit using you, Naima. It ain't really you. So
you.
calm down.
This is not you, dog.
It's
Get out
not
the
you.
way before you mess it up.
Yeah, yeah. And I think too, even on my meditation like page, like my Instagram, I stay with my people. So
Yeah.
anything that I'm going through, I put it out there. I'm like,
Okay.
and that's why it's called like a meditation practice, like a lifestyle. Like this is not, this is not a destination.
One and
Like we're
done.
not getting somewhere. We're being in it. And then, you know, we go through like different phases of cycles of like, just, I don't know, celebration, hurt, healing, grief. You know, we go through these cycles of different things in our lives. And I'm right there with my people. And so I don't try to come off like I'm the guru of like peace and patience. Like, no, I have struggles too. And I get stuck too. And here's how I come back and use these tools to get me through it. And I'm trying to constantly model for my people. Like, this is how you use it. So I think that's what's fulfilling, is that I'm in it.
Yeah. Man. I'm sorry, I just had to sit with that for a second. Cause I mean, that's crazy. Cause it is. I feel like a lot of life is the like you said, it's the judgment. Like sometimes we judge ourselves for going through certain things, and then it's like hard to kind of get back and connect with other people. And then it's kind of more like you're a character than you are actually a person. So the fact that you were able to drop that and still do something that's so natural to you and still have all the human experiences which come with human, and just be able to sit, not shy away from it, but be accepting of it.
There you go.
And allow people to, you know, learn from that. What a beautiful life. That's awesome. Yeah. You're grateful, right? You have to be incredibly grateful. Like,
I literally just had this conversation with somebody. I'm like, my reverence for life almost makes me feel guilty that I'm like, damn, I didn't used to value my life and my just existence as much as you know what I mean?
Yes.
I have such a reverence for life when I wake up every morning. Because it's not even so much that I know what I'm here for. I'm grateful to be here.
Yes.
And that in itself is like enough for me.
Yep.
And when you get to a place in life where you're not chasing shit no more, you know, like I even in my business, every 3 months, I tell myself to relax. Like if the numbers are not growing, that's because they're not supposed to. You get what I mean? Like this is where you're supposed to be. If you only help 5 clients this month, that's what it is. Like, so I don't even set goals anymore. Like I remember even in January, I was like, oh, I want to sell 1,200 You versus You books. Then I had to check myself, like, one, you're limiting yourself because you should be saying to the universe, you know, may I sell as many books that as many books I never planned, right? Absolutely. You know, so not closing myself in, but more so staying in the process.
Yeah.
And when I live my life like that, I'm happy every fucking day, every day. And it's a great place to be in, right? Because you know, when things go wrong, it's crazy because I don't even interpret my life like that anymore. Like when things happen that I don't plan to happen. Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, that's supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
Right. And then, okay, how is this pushing me? You know what I mean? So I accept like my challenges, like I accept my blessings with gratitude, like going back to what you said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a great place to be in. And I'm definitely trying to share the love and share that process with other people so they can feel that too.
Yeah. Well, I think if there was ever and I mean, this could just be me saying it because I feel very, very, very similar to you. I think that if there was anything you could teach a person, this is probably the greatest gift you could ever give them. Like when you get into the conversations of people discussing, you know, what's the meaning of life and what's it all about and what's it all, I feel like when you get to that point, it's like, oh, I just got to be here.
Yeah.
Like I have the opportunity to witness and to create and to try and to fail and to love and to cry. Just the blessing of the entire range of life is just, and to think that we are just all here together creating a collective of what it's just all of it is like, wow. It's crazy.
It's like the most simplest concepts.
Yes.
Yet the hardest thing for a human to do is to accept their own existence. It's so hard. We fight it. When I taught a manifestation workshop last month, I used the example of like the trees. You know, I'm like, the trees know their purpose. They don't get jealous of other trees. They don't get jealous of you. Like they stand there in stillness and get the work done.
Yes.
And I'm like, we could learn so much from that. I'm like, we think we have to be more busy, more pressed, more, you know, running ourselves into the ground in order to accomplish what is it exactly?
We're the only thing in nature that actually thinks it's growing itself. Yes. Like
that was deep.
Everything else is being grown. Thank you. But everything else is just being grown as it was supposed to. We're the only ones who cry and who curse God about our growth and what, like everything else just peacefully and beautifully. It's like, I'm just gonna, and there are a few things you find perfect in nature. Like there's really few things you find perfect in nature, and yet it still grows. It doesn't turn around and say, well, it wasn't perfect. Well, it wasn't this. Well, right. This, like, I agree. We can learn so much from just what's already been here. I mean, it's not like we created it. We just showed up and looked around. Like we're fitting into something. We fit into a flow.
Exactly.
This has been fun. Thank you.
This is beautiful.
I don't get to have this conversation a lot. I mean, it's especially not in the terms, because you know, some people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
they're like, and I don't give a shit. But you know. And you know, I don't judge those people either. I don't judge them either. I'm like, you know, one of the reasons why I have a business is for people who, you know what I mean? For use service. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to say it is where it is. It's just something interesting to observe. It lends to more gratitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oh man, this girl, this didn't even have to be Black Bulls. We could have had just a conversation. I'm shuffling through my cars like, what's the last question?
Where am I at? Where am I at on the list?
Let's see. What's next for you?
You know, I don't even want to say I don't know. But I just love to live in the moment.
And it hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still really tucked in right now to what's happening, you know, between you versus you, and just being present with like mind and my soul, and, you know, servicing the clients that I have right now.
Absolutely.
And I just want to continue I want the universe to continue to expand my reach as I'm growing.
Yeah.
And that's what's next. Just the expansion.
Yep. And I appreciate that answer because it's honest and it's enough. And I get it. Absolutely. So then, congratulations on arriving to this space. And I hope that you enjoy it. You know, moments can be fleeting. And I don't mean that in the sense of it fleeting to something bad. It's just fleeting as it's always changing. It's always it's always an evolution. So enjoy this moment because moments don't come back. So
thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
That was so well said.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, congratulations, and
Yeah.
I hope. I want to say I hope that you're able to sit in this moment in full gratitude and I mean you're already clearly in a flow. You're already
Mhm.
clearly in communication with the universe. So I'm excited to see the next message you receive and the moving out on it because it's necessary. It's,
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, I was about to say, I think everybody is brought into a space for a reason. And like I said, I don't see, I have been here for 32 years. I have not found a more important message.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I truly haven't.
yeah. I take
I,
that to the heart.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I haven't found a more important message. I haven't found a message that will more likely change someone's life than the one that you're spreading. And I hope you take solace in that. You know, I hope you find what you do important because you matter, man. Like it's just
Oh,
I'm outside when you see
yeah.
people, it's like what people can be. So a book, you know, a children's book, you versus you, anything that kind of sparks that breadcrumb of it just makes the world
Yes.
1,000 times better. Every person who is able to wake up, just like you said, the collective consciousness, it makes it 1,000 times better. So
Yes, it
thank you.
does. You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah, that's it, Niema. I don't want to take no more of your time.
This was dope. This was dope.
Because I could keep, we could, yeah. We'll have to meet up for drinks for
Right. We do. You know, we
Yeah.
do. I love just building my network of women
Yeah.
who are just dope human beings.
Yeah. Same, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So there are two things I have left for you. First thing, please tell the people where they can find you and how they can get tapped in with you.
Yeah. So listen, my Instagram for my business is Minding My Soul Meditation. You can follow me there every Monday. I drop a mindful Monday like message. Sometimes it's inspirational, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'm just sharing like this is what I'm going through right now, and maybe y'all can relate to it.
Right.
My website is my first and last name, niemagolphin.com. So if you want to check out the You versus You book or Grace Treasure Box, or you want to set up a consultation for meditation, all my information can be found on my website.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah. And the second thing is Black Boss Tradition. I have all Black Boss participants say their name and then say that they're a Black Boss.
So I'm Niema and I'm a Black Boss.
Yes. I love everybody's spin on it. It's like everybody got a flavor. That's fun.
Yes.
So like I said, thank you again so much. Yeah, bask in it.
Hey, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. And let's definitely connect, you know.
Yes, I would love to, for sure. I was about to say, Tasha was Natasha. She definitely a Tosh. I had to tell her that.
Yeah.
But she was the one who, you know, who referred. She was awesome. So
yeah. She's another dope human being.
Very much so. I enjoyed my conversation with her as well. So thank you, Niema. I appreciate it. And
You're welcome.
The color, by the way.
Yeah, girl.
I saw that post too. I was like, yeah, blonde is your color, girl. I like that a lot.
Look, tell my man that again. Say it again for the people in the back.
I want to say blonde, so it brightens. It's
yes.
It
brings me out.
Yes, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like I love it. So we don't hang up. We'll be on here all day.
I know. And guess what? I'm about to go talk about self-care, get me a little massage.
Yes.
My 6:30 appointment. And so I gotta go take care of my body.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Niema.
Thank you.
In touch.
All right.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Niema Golphin. That was awesome. I mean, when I started looking into Niema, I was so excited to actually interview her because she speaks my language. You know, I respect and find all entrepreneurship important. Black entrepreneurship. I am supportive of all entrepreneurs, but there are messages and there are things that me personally, I feel like my heart focuses on, and things that I want to bring into the world and things that I want to make changes around. And Niema is hitting on that topic. So the fact that she's already standing in this space, I think is incredible. I think is inspiring. I'm so excited. She inspired me to continue to create and continue to know that I'm on the right path, and give me some encouragement to go out and also share that message, because she's sharing it so well. So thank you, Niema. Please continue to do everything that you're doing. I love the blonde hair. I don't know why your guy doesn't, but I stay out of domestic stuff. But I love the blonde hair. I think it's beautiful. So thank you. That was Niema. I hope you guys learned something. Motivation, inspiration, information. I said I was going to say it again. Here we go. Motivation, inspiration, inspiration. I hope you guys got some. To continue the celebration of Black entrepreneurship, please go to blackballs_certified on Instagram. I am Black Balls Certified on Facebook. And for full episodes of Black Balls, please check out Black Balls Certified on YouTube. Thank you so much again, Niema. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying. You continue to enjoy. I hope you're able to learn something from the episode. Consciousness is everything. Consciousness is everything. It's no greater gift. So thank you, Niema, for teaching people that. And it's worth it, guys. If you don't know what that means or are confused by that, go find some. That's what I said. Check in with Niema or look into it, because consciousness it's the way. I feel it's the way. All right, that's getting long. Bye, guys. Check me out. All platforms. Like, subscribe, share, follow, whatever is appropriate for the platform that you're on. Inspiration, motivation, information. Get some. Bye, guys. Peace.